thank you very much for coming out on this warm summer or almost summer night. I know you could be doing a lot better things, but you'll be surprised. I think the presentation is pretty awesome. I saw the slides and I'm very excited, and I hope everybody's going to learn a lot. I would like to thank our sponsors, Provel Online, which is a menswear store. I think they have provided a 25% coupon for us. If you go to the website, you can take advantage of that. Microsoft, obviously, for providing this space and all the help with the IT and whatnot. It's really amazing. Thank you. And some of our smaller partners, obviously, SEM is presenting tonight. Union Square Design, which is a design company, Socialfly, and Therapy was presented the last 2 months. I would like to go through the room, like give everybody 30 seconds just to state their name and what brought you here tonight, what you guys do when you're not here, i.e. what your interests are, what your work is. They may be the same or not. Obviously, you're interested in online and marketing, so hear a little bit about that. So why don't we start over here? Sorry, my name is Mai. I'm with Union Square Design, and I'm a project manager.
My name is Don DeRoche. I'm here from mediation and counseling. We do divorce mediation and family counseling, and I'm here just to figure out how to do some better marketing.
My name is Khalees Simba from Hudson River Valley Bank. Organic baby clothes is my line. And I'm here to learn about.
Hi everybody, my name is Nicole and I'm with Command C. We're an e-commerce developer and service company, so we develop online commerce stores.
Hi, my name is Soumya. I just moved here from India. I have a clothing store which is purely online. I'm here to learn about SEO and SEM, as it says there, and network and meet new people.
I'm Nicole Charnock. I have a site for to lease stores and pop-ups, and I want to get more traffic to the site.
Hi, my name is Shalina, and I have a YouTube channel called Shalina's World, and I'm here to find out different marketing techniques to market my channel.
Hi, I'm Ellie from Korea. I'm running my own business, which is making language materials and books. And I'm here to learn about marketing, and I can find an interesting thing and an interesting people here. Nice to meet you.
Hello, William with United X Shipping. I deal with startups all the way up to international on the back end, the shipping and logistics side. So all this information is helpful.
I am Kevin. I'm currently building up my e-commerce store, focusing on the LED backlit mirrors niche, and I'm just here to learn marketing and SEM.
Hi everyone, I'm Pierre Etienne. I'm an e-commerce manager for the Northern New York in Times Square, and I'm here to learn more about SEA and if it's possible to be able to speak about generic keywords and niche markets.
Hey everyone, my name is Sam Carlos Watson, and I'm here to learn about SEO, ranking, evaluation, and I'm learning how to do social media marketing. So that's what I'm going to say.
Hi, my name is Liz and I work with social media marketing for restaurants. And I'm here to learn more about marketing and meeting new people.
Hi, my name is Priscilla. I also work with Louisa to Restaurant Boosting. That's her company for social media.
Hi, my name is Seema and I work in digital marketing. I just thought that this match would just be interesting.
Hi, my name is Lena. I am in the fashion brand, the high-end fashion brand Gucci, and I'm in the marketing and the e-commerce department, and I have to learn the strategy and the planning, so I'm coming here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Socrates Okonkwo, and I'm the owner of Sophanic, which specializes in UX solutions for digital tools such as websites and enterprise applications. I'm here to learn about SEO and see how it can help my business.
Hello, I'm Frank Morelli. I work for a company called Gen Video. We're an influencer marketing platform who works closely with e-commerce type companies. Here to learn about SEO as well.
Hey, this is Jay from B2C Choose. We are into selling news titles and engagement online. Here to know more about marketing.
Hi, my name is Leslie. I work with financial services, but looking to make a change into marketing. But I'm also here to learn about SEO for a podcast I'm getting ready to launch in months.
Hi, my name is also Leslie, and I work in marketing for a soon-to-launch internet startup, and I'm just trying to understand, ways to market efficiently with small budget.
My name is Jan. For a company called Nostro. We do personalization and marketing automation, listening in on the conversation, and also hiring as well.
Hey, I'm Matti from the same company and pretty much the same message. So general learnings from the ad space and advertising, and I'm also hiring. So.
Hi, I'm Dala, and I'm running a e-commerce startup, and I'm here because I overspend.
Hi, I'm Yayun from Taiwan. I'm a grade student in marketing program. I focus on data and digital. Oh, and also I'm seeking a job internship.
Hi, my name is Samya. Hi, Samya. I work for a personalization platform called Voyager Labs. It targets retailers and online retailers. I'm here just to learn about common challenges in marketing and what's happening in online commerce.
Hi, my name is Martin. I'm an application developer for a financial firm, and just here to learn more about building or getting some tips for growing traffic.
Hi, I'm David. I'm here with a new e-commerce site called Seasons. With Amir, we're selling wallets online. So we're here to learn about new marketing strategies.
I'm Amir. I sell the wallets. I want to learn how to target people better. I think that's what I'm struggling on most right now.
My name's Tony. I create video content, and I'm just here to kind of learn about some of the issues I see with how video gets dealt with on the net. So.
Hey, this is Colin. I'm an e-commerce business owner. We do a lot of Facebook marketing and everything. I'm trying to understand more how profitable we can make the marketing towards. We do a lot of SEOs and everything.
Hi, my name is Sean. I work in excuse me, television marketing, or television advertising, I'm sorry. I'm just here to learn more about the e-commerce environment and more about e-commerce sites and starting them and building them and things like that.
Yeah, my name is James. I would file myself under accidental digital marketer, primarily dealing with brand awareness for small entertainment brands. And I'm currently working with a company that is on the verge of launching an app, and I don't want to overspend their budget.
Hey, my name is Ron. I'd like to start my own e-commerce business, and I'd like to learn about SEM.
Thank you very much. So we have a huge range, I think. We may not be able to cover everything, but stick around after the talk and ask Courtney questions. Jessica, they're from
I'm Jessica. I work with Courtney at Elite SEM. I work in the client services / new business development department. So here to help you guys learn more about Elite SEM and the services that we do with you guys.
Thank you. Yes, I want to introduce tonight's speaker, Courtney O'Donnell. She has been in the online marketing space for 6 years, and she works for Elite SEM, one of the premier marketing companies, I think, that is out there. So thank you very much.
Hi guys, how is everyone tonight? Good?
All right. Once we get this.
Oh, I broke it.
Luckily, they have Microsoft here.
Sorry, we're talking about Google Shopping.
They just want to throw an egg. That's what they do.
Yeah, right? So this is how you advertise.
Hey, we're back.
Does it work? How does it work?
Just press it really hard.
Press it hard. Okay. Sorry about that.
Sounds good. All right, so it's great kind of meeting everyone today. I am going to be talking about Google Shopping today. One, I'm going to tell a little bit about me because I'm standing up here going to tell you stuff about Google Shopping and paid search, so it'd be good to give you some of my credentials. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about why you should be investing in Google Shopping if you are in e-commerce. Then I'm going to show you how to get started on Google Shopping. We'll talk about data feeds, and then we'll talk about how to create Google Shopping campaigns. And then once we've gotten the basics down, I'll give you some information on like what to do next, how to grow your shopping, and things like that. So a little bit about me. I currently work at Elite SEM as a senior shopping and feed account supervisor. I've been in the space roughly 5-6 years. I started on the paid search side. I did paid search for about 3 years, and then one day I was told that our only shopping and feed person at Elite SEM was leaving in 2 weeks, and they asked if I wanted to do it. I freaked out a little bit because I didn't know anything about shopping and data feed. I learned it in only a couple days. Don't tell any of my clients at that time that. And then I managed the shopping and data feed division for about 4 weeks until our director came. So it was a lot of learning really fast, but I loved it, and I moved away from search and now solely focus on shopping and data feed. But if you have any questions later, I still know stuff about paid search, so I can answer text ad, keyword questions, things like that. So last year, I was one of the 10 winners of an award that Google gives out to people who they see as thought leaders and do excellent work in search marketing. And so I won it for my work on jet.com. I'm sure you have all seen those purple boxes. So I started up with working with jet.com before they were even online, and I currently still work with them today as they've grown into a huge multi-million-dollar company and now currently acquired by Walmart. And with that, I've managed up to 10 million SKUs on accounts. I've done little tiny accounts, big accounts, so I can help with small business questions as well as large business questions there. And then also a little bit personal, just because I feel like it's nice when you get to know somebody beyond what they do at work. I'm currently training for the Berlin and New York City marathons, so if you see me around New York City this summer, please say hi. I'll probably need it. And then also, I'm originally from San Francisco. I am a diehard 49ers fan. During football season, you will see me at Finnerty's in East Village, cheering them on, even if we are awful. All right, so I just wanted to give you guys some of the clients that I've worked on in the future, like currently and in the past. So Ukes, Jonathan Adler, Rebecca Minkoff, Jet, Barney's. These are some of the accounts that I have done work for. Now into the good stuff. Why are we talking about Google Shopping today? So in Google Shopping last year, comparing to the year before, Google Shopping generated 30% in spend growth. When you look at text ads, that they only did 15%. So while Google text ads are still growing, they're not growing at the same rate as Google Shopping. And Google Shopping has been seeing these large increases in growth for like 3+ years. And then when you just look at Q4, the increase in shopping clicks in just holiday time alone increased 43%, whereas text ads only 8%. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be on text ads. You should definitely own the SERP, aka search engines results page, aka when you type in Google, all of that stuff you see. I definitely think you should still be there, but it's just thinking about where you put your dollars. So a big impact, I believe, on text ads happened in February 2016. Google did a whole revamp of their search engines results page, and all of a sudden, there were no more right-hand rail text ads. So that red X, all of a sudden, there used to be ads there and no longer any more text ads. With that, text ads, the competition got a lot more fierce. You had to bid for those first 4 positions, where you really probably weren't going to be seen at all. So a lot of advertisers moved spend dollars, especially non-brand text ad. So women's shoes is an example, to Google Shopping, while they still kept their brand at the top. So whether that's Barney's, Rebecca Minkoff, things like that. So this is also a SERP. So as you can see, Rebecca Minkoff, they're at the top for Rebecca Minkoff Crossbody. They have all of the extensions, location, things like that. Everything looks great. And then you see Saks below them, Nordstrom below them, Amazon below them. They can only advertise once on text ads. But as you can see here on the right-hand side on Google Shopping, Rebecca Minkoff owns every single one of those. No one else is in there. There's no other competition. Yes, sometimes it can get a little pricey, especially when you know the Saks and Nordstrom of the world are bidding on your products as well. But there's more chance to reach your people. There's 6 chances of someone clicking on your ad versus just 1 on the text ad side. Any questions so far? Cool. And another thing is that clicks are way more qualified. If you look at the text ad, say I type in necklaces. Text ad, okay, cool, Etsy sells necklaces. They have vintage ones, maybe, personalized jewelry. This is from August, so they had August birthstones. But there's a lot of mystery, like where am I going to be led? What kind of experience am I going to have on the landing page? So you look at the shopping ad, you get everything. I can see what the product looks like. I have full details. I know it's 14 karat gold. I know it's $42. I know there is going to be $4 shipping. Do I really want to spend $4 on shipping? There's tax. And I know all of this stuff before I even click through. So when I do click through, the chances of me converting are much higher on a shopping ad than on the text ad at the top. And this is actually a statistic from a trends report that Elite SEM just published, and you can find that on their website. So last year they saw that 195% more revenue per $1,000 spent on shopping than on non-brand text ads. So basically, you are making more money and revenue on your spend in shopping than on non-brand text. Questions? Yeah.
So the shopping ad, is this an option that can show up on the Google search page?
So backwards. Okay. So this is the main Google page that you'll see. But at the top on Google, you'll see images, shopping, so on and so forth. If you click on shopping, it brings you to a whole nother thing, and that's where you can click open and see all of that information. Yeah. So basically, after all of this, I really feel that you guys should, 1, not shy away from text ads, especially on your brand. Your brand should own the top spot. You can't rely on SEO anymore. Google wants to make money too, so definitely put your brand in the top spot. But Google Shopping is probably the best, most efficient way to capture that new visitor who maybe isn't searching your brand, but searching wallets or anything like that, like high-end designer belts, things like that. It's the best place to find people while they're searching and converting. So now that I've convinced you should all start running Google Shopping, I'm gonna teach you guys how to get it going off the ground. First, you all need data feeds. Hopefully you have some form of a data feed. If not, we can talk on the side. But if you do, this is what you do next. But I actually have a question. Does anyone have a definition for what a data feed is?
The feed to upload the ads actually.
What?
The feed to upload in the Google to present in front of the ad.
Yeah, so a data feed is what you upload into what they say is the Google Merchant Center, and then you utilize it to advertise on Google Shopping. So data feed is the holy grail to Google Shopping. If you don't have a data feed, you can't do Google Shopping. And then within the data feed, it's basically a list of all of your products and their unique attributes. So whether it's descriptions, price, title, color, GTINs, anything like that is in the data feed. So once you have a data feed and you're good to go, you uploaded it into the Google Merchant Center, and then you can go on to Google Shopping. However, data feeds, you can't just upload any data feed and hope it works. There's Google feed specs. If you go online and just Google feed specifications, it'll give you everything that you need to do online shopping or online Google Shopping. But then there's also some best practices. I'm going to focus on 3 just because we could spend like 3 hours on best practices on data feeds, but these are the 3 ones that I think are the most important. The first one is product titles. So product titles are, the title that you see of the product when on the shopping ad. You get 150 characters and you should definitely use them. So in this example, say a client gave me a title in the feed that says pencil pant black. Does anyone know what the problem with that title is?
I don't want to buy a pencil. What's a pencil pant? Yeah.
Pencil pants are like skinny, like that. Yeah, so those are all, you're not using the 150 characters, there's no brand, things like that. So pencil pant black, cool. It's a pencil pant, that's a type of pant that people know. Black's fine, but there's no 3.1 Phillip limb. There's no size. There's no color. There is color. There's no that it's a slim pant, because maybe some people don't write in pencil, they write in slim. So you have to think about, okay, what do people search when they search for a pant that looks like that? Like some people are like, what is a pencil pant? Some people are like, oh yeah, slim pant. And then also there's no material, like is that satin, is that silk, is it cotton? So you need to optimize your product title. So all of a sudden that pencil pant black became 3.1 Phillip limb women's, because there is a difference between women's and men's pants. Slim, pencil pant, black, cotton, size 4. All of a sudden, we are going to be showing up for a ton more search queries. We'll show up if someone types in 3.1 Phillip limb, 3.1 Phillip limb women's slim pencil pant, black pant. The options of what we show up for on Google increase significantly when you optimize your titles. Your titles are your keywords. So as you would bid on these kind of keywords on the text ad side, it's the same thing. Your titles are your keywords, and that's how Google helps understand if this is relevant to what your searcher is looking for. Any questions on this?
Yep. Do you have to specifically put the dash there, or is that?
No, you can put commas, dash. You could put pant in black, any really.
But search query will take the comma also.
Yeah. Google
so you
will.
gotta put the space there.
Yeah. Well, you just want it to read well, because it's still your ad at the end of the day. So you could put you shouldn't just do 3.1 Phillip limb, space, keep going with spaces and no dashes or commas. It should definitely just read well. So it's just kind of like what your preference is. You might put like in black or something like that. So it really just depends on your preference, but definitely break it up because it is your ad at the end of the day. Yeah, any other questions? Yeah.
So I'm kind of new to this space, but title optimization is going to give you, I guess, more viewership on different searches, but not going to give you, I guess, order searches.
Yeah, okay, so he's asking, okay, titles will give you more ability to get impressions on Google, but will it necessarily give you that top spot? No, but it could help because it's improving your data quality of your feed. Google likes that title, they don't like the title up at the top. Showing up at the top has to do with data quality, but it also has to do with how much you're bidding on things. Like, are you bidding $10 or are you bidding 5 cents? And if your competitors are bidding higher, they might be showing up higher than you. Any other questions? Yeah.
Last year I tried this one actually. I bid the most max actually. I couldn't come on top.
You couldn't
like,
come on top?
Yeah, I couldn't come on top. Any point that I put like $10 per bid or something.
Yeah.
I have,
There's a lot of things we
yeah,
could look at,
exactly.
but we can talk to me after and we can discuss it a little bit. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to talk about are product types. This is something that you create on your own. This is not like, okay, I go online and figure out what product types are. Usually they kind of look like your website. So what we use for product types help us structure our Google Shopping campaigns and ad groups. So the more granular your product type are, or the better bid optimizations you can have. Because bidding on clothing and pants, all of a sudden I'm bidding on anything clothing and pants, whereas women clothing pants slim, I can give that a different bid than say women clothing pants wide. I don't know. So giving them different bids can help because maybe the audience is different on slim pants versus wide pants, the geolocation, things like that. So the more granular you get with your product types, the better. Definitely think about gender if you have both genders, and then kind of go a little bit generic, probably a little bit looks like your site, and then a little bit more granular, and however you feel fit, whether it's stopping at pants, if you only have one type of pant, or getting a little bit deeper there. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you get like too detailed with your product types? Like, is it better to get extremely detailed? Or?
I would say probably you don't want to go more, so you can only go 5. I want to say you can only go 5 levels. Yeah, 5 levels. So you can only go 5 levels. But think about it like this, like, okay, if you're at the point where only one SKU is falling into the product type, then you should just bid on that SKU differently and not, you should have a couple products in each product type. If you're all of a sudden having only one SKU in each, you shouldn't go that deep. Any other questions? Yeah.
So if someone have a better SEO ranking, right? So they'll have a better chance of getting more customers, right?
So I'm not an SEO expert, but we have SEO at Elite. But my own opinion is, so the SERP is saturated where, wrong way, sorry guys. The SERP is saturated by the text ads at the top and then the shopping ads on the right hand side or at the top as well. So I would say that it's hard to probably get the clicks that you want on organic. I'm seeing with my clients personally that their organic traffic's actually declining because of all the changes Google's making, because at the end of the day, Google makes money off of paid search clicks. They don't make any money off of SEO. So they're doing everything in their power to push SEO down. Even on mobile, it's huge. I mean, you see the shopping ads, then you see 4 text ads, and do people really scroll that far down on their mobile app or mobile? So it's good to have your ranking really high on SEO because if people are looking and they avoid ads, it's good to be on top, but it doesn't mean that you will get clicked on because you have the highest ranking on SEO. Because you got to think about you're competing with these shopping ads and Google text ads. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay. So the next thing is GTINs. What is a GTIN? It is a global trade inventory number. This was an update that happened in May. So Google made it a requirement to have GTINs for all SKUs that they think have GTINs. If you had a SKU that you claim didn't have a GTIN and Google thinks it does, they would not show it on Google anymore. And that still is the case. This has been a huge pain point for a lot of retailers. They are trying to work through it, but when you all of a sudden your SKUs aren't showing, your impressions are going down, you're not getting as many clicks, you're not getting as many orders. So global trade inventory numbers, know if you need them. If you are your own brand and you only sell your products and nobody else sells them, you don't need this. You can talk to Google. There's a workaround on how to do it, but basically it's saying that no one else sells your stuff, so you can't have a global trade inventory number. But Google is claiming with the Google global trade inventory numbers that it actually will help improve the user experience and engagement on Google. So with the global trade inventory number, Google knows exactly what that product is because it's the same for every single one of that specific product. So Google claims that if they know exactly what the product is, that they are able to show it to the best person. They're like, okay, this person wants this Phillip Lim slim pant, and we know that this advertiser has it because of the global trade inventory number. With that, it improves the user experience on Google and then also improves engagement because people are clicking on our ads because they find them relevant. And then with that comes your increase in your impressions. So those SKUs that maybe got disapproved because they didn't have GTINs are now live because they do have GTINs, so you're showing up for more. And Google tends to give a little bit more credit if you have the correct GTIN because they know that you'll give them the correct user experience, and Google is really focusing on user experience recently. And then with more impressions comes more conversions and higher conversion rates because it all comes back to kind of the top one. We are showing the best products for those searches. And then lastly, GTINs are used outside of AdWords. If you're going to try to launch in a marketplace, things like that, or if you're trying to send your inventory to wholesalers, they ask for your GTINs. So if you already do it once, you kind of do it for everything and you don't have to think about it again. And if you are, say, a wholesaler and you have problems finding GTINs from retailers because they say they don't have them, things like that, there are third parties that can help you kind of scrape GTINs and find them for you. Any questions on GTINs?
Is the GTINs composed of different numbers?
Yeah, it's 13 numbers. Yeah. Usually it can be any of them, but usually it's the 12 or 13 number. Yeah, those are just examples. It's like the barcode. Yeah.
So is it recognized, can I recognize as a barcode or as a number?
You have to put in the number. I just gave these as like examples of where you can get your GTINs, but you have to use the numbers.
Numbers.
Yeah. Only numbers in the feed.
It's not the same as UPC.
It is.
It's
It is.
Same number?
UPC, GTIN, same thing. Yeah. So that's the one that typically, the UPC one is the one that we typically see.
So that means when you work on the jet, actually on each product, it has UPC. If someone merchant is selling it by themselves, it's going to merge there actually.
Yeah.
As a one.
Yeah. So if any product is showing on multiple places, so if you're a retailer who sends your stuff to jet and say you don't send us the UPC or GTIN, whatever you want to call it, we can't show it because we need that GTIN because Google says that, okay, more than one person is advertising this product, and so it exists. The only time GTINs don't exist is if it's only you're the only one that sells it, so that's the one case, or if it's a custom product. GTINs don't exist for those either. All right, so those are my top 3 that you definitely need to optimize in your data feed to get Google Shopping going, but every point is really, really important. So go on Google or Bing and search Google feed specs as well as best practices and fill out, make sure you're doing all the right things in descriptions and colors, because Google doesn't like it when you say poppy seed color, like what is that? You got to do yellow, green, red, blue, so things like that. But Google.com or Bing.com definitely give you more background on all of the feed specs as well as best practices to optimize each of them to Google and or Bing shopping best practices. Any questions about data feeds? All right, so to the good stuff, we're going to set up a Google Shopping account. So first thing you think of, okay, I gotta set up a Google Shopping account. How do I do that? What is my optimal structure? So there is no optimal structure for Google Shopping. It all depends on your business and your goals. I have some clients that restructure their account every couple months, and then I have some clients that have never restructured their account in years. The nice thing about Google Shopping is that it doesn't need historical data to optimize, so you can change your structure around as much as you want and you won't get penalized by Google, whereas on the tech stat side, you do get penalized if you continuously change your account around because your keywords lose their data quality because there's no historical data behind them, as well as your tech stats. So don't restructure your tech stat side of campaigns a lot, but if you want to restructure your shopping campaigns a lot, you can go ahead and do that without any penalization. But I have some hints because you use your feed to create a Google Shopping campaign. The number one way to create your campaigns and ad groups is the product type. So we talked about those guys using a little bit more granularity, so not just clothing and pants, getting a little bit deeper with gender, things like that. That will help you create your campaign, which we'll talk about, and then your ad groups and what you're actually bidding on within those ad groups. The next one is Google product category. Don't really recommend this one as much. Google product category is Google's product categories, and some of them aren't very granular. Perfect example is shoes. It goes apparel, accessories, shoes. There's no boots, heels, sandals, and all of those perform differently. So if you're using that, you can only bid on shoes, and if boots are doing better than heels, you can't really make a bid change on those. The next one is brand. So if you are somebody who has multiple brands that you're selling, breaking out by those brands because each brand performs differently. Lower end brands are going to perform way differently than high end brands, and if you have a mixture of brands that you're selling, definitely keep that in mind because you will bid on them differently, and you might be able to take a little bit of a cost hit on a high AOV product versus a $5 product. And then the next one is custom labels. This is something you can add into the feed. You get 5 of them. Custom label can be anything from price point, so back to, say, maybe you have $5 items and then $1,000 items. You have to bid on those differently. You can take a little bit of a hit on the $1,000 item, $5 item not so much, so you can break out your account into like, I want to bid this on my $5 pants and this on my $1,000 pants. You can also do it for sale items, so things on sale if you know that they perform better. So you can bid up on sale pants better than non-sale pants. You can do it for margin. You can do it for seasonality or even top products. If you know certain SKUs do really well for you, you can kind of label those and then bid up on those specific SKUs. And then the last one is actually SKU based. So sometimes it's the best idea is to bid on each SKU individually. So it all depends on your business and your goals. But there is that option to just, you know what, I'm going to bid each product individually and optimize that way. So it all really just depends on what you're trying to do. Any questions on this? All right. So I'm going to just break down an account hierarchy. So at the top is your account. That's your business as a whole. The next is your campaigns. So this can be very high level categories. So think home or electronics or clothing, things like that. And then your ad groups are when you get a little bit deeper. So say your campaign is clothing. One ad group could be pants and the other ad group could be dresses. And then within your ad groups are what we call product groups. This is what you bid on. So on the text ad side, this is where your keywords would be, is in the purple. On the shopping side, that's where we have our product group. So it's the set of products we are going to bid on within this ad group. You're allowed to break down this product group 7 times. So you can get really, really granular with how you're bidding in shopping with the product groups. So this ad group could be like, I'm bidding on dresses that are under $100 in black that are on sale, for example. And that's what I'd be bidding on in this ad group. I'm gonna show you some account structures so you can get an idea of how different scenarios could work. All right.
Would you mix the exact and then the phrase keywords at all on the ad groups?
So on the shopping side, you don't have any ability to control your keywords. You don't bid on keywords on the Google Shopping side. Only on the text ad side. Yeah. Yeah. He asked if you would put phrase and exact match keywords in the same campaign. But to answer your question, no. Elite best practice is we have an exact match campaign, a broad match modifier campaign, and we actually don't do any others. We don't do phrase and we don't do broad. We only do those 2. I can talk a little bit more about it later if you have questions on it, but yeah.
Just the slide before that. On the product group.
Yeah.
So you have one person bidding on top level product group, another person bidding 7 levels down, more finite. What's the difference between those? How is the bidding affected?
Okay, so I think I understand so what we would do is you would create, so you wanted to have like a more general bid on something, and then you want to have something more granular under that same thing, correct?
Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be a different group of bidding.
Yeah. So we try to bid as granular as we can, but we have these things called catch-alls. So say for pants, we get really granular and we bid everything as granular as it can, but then there's a new pant that comes into play that we haven't built out yet. That would fall into that like higher level catch-all. So it just ensures that we're still bidding on those pants that we haven't built out as granularly yet.
But your success isn't going to be as high.
Exactly, because it's not being bid how it should be, because it's in this like catch-all where all the things that we haven't caught yet are falling into.
And your costs are going to be higher.
Costs are going to be higher. You can't there's audiences that you can layer in, mobile, tablet, bid modifiers you can't really make because it's in this catch-all. So we definitely recommend getting as granular as you can, and then this catch-all is just kind of like a fail-safe if something weird happens in the feed.
I want to know if what percentage of people that are bidding are getting that granular?
Good question. So at Elite, we get very granular. We have for Jet, for example, I have over 5,000 campaigns, 100,000 ad groups, very granular. But we do audits on people's accounts that we're trying to pitch, and there's some that they don't get very granular, or they have everything sitting in one ad group. Like they might have it broken out, but they're bidding on like pants or clothing and home and electronics all within the same like campaign. Like this is it, just that. And the problem with that is there's a lot of things that you can do on the ad group and campaign level, but you can't do on this product group level. So device bid adjustments. Home, mobile might do terribly, but on clothing, mobile might do really well. You can't bid differently because they're all sitting in this same ad group. So you need them to be in different ad groups so you can optimize your device differently. Also remarketing lists and audiences, same thing. Geolocation, so maybe you find home does really well in Florida and pants do really well in New York. You want to bid them differently. But if they're all sitting in this same ad group, you can't do that.
I'm assuming the one reason they would do that is for cost?
No, I think that's the opposite. That's being inefficient. That's like the bread and butter in any audit. If I see those things, I'm like, you gotta come to Elite. No, it's actually, I just think it's, I don't really know why. I think it's because shopping is still kind of a newer space. There's not a lot of agencies out there that actually like do shopping and data feed as a division. They just kind of like search account managers just run it and they are like, okay, that looks good and I'm hitting my ROI and that's all that matters. They're not thinking about how can I become more efficient on that. They're just more like, okay, I'm hitting my 2-to-1, hitting spend, I'm good, I don't need to do anything else.
I also understand that when you're running a business, your brain is overloaded and sometimes you can't even understand the simplest things.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you some like examples of campaign structures to maybe help paint this picture a little bit better. So you are one brand and you have multiple categories. So your campaign would be bags, for example, in this group. And we're using our product types to map the campaign. So bags, but we have backpacks and clutches. So that would be our ad group. We would have a backpacks ad group and a clutches ad group because backpacks and clutches probably perform a lot differently. So we can make device bid modifiers differently. We can make audience bid modifiers differently, location, and I'm pretty location. So those are things you can do to bid differently on backpacks and clutches. And then within is where you're bidding. This is basically telling Google, I am bidding on bags, but I'm only bidding on backpacks within this ad group. And then the same thing with clutches. I'm bidding on bags, but only clutches within this ad group. So this is kind of what a account structure would look like on a high level. Yep.
I'm just trying to figure out like when you would ever use broad optimization and not an exact match. I'm still not really getting why would it ever be initial for you not an exact match?
So good question. This is a paid text ad question. So she's asking, when would you ever do broad and not exact? I would never do broad. At Elite, we don't. We do exact and broad match modifier, which is what the little pluses in front of the keywords, and that you do more than like you do women's pants with the pluses, for example. We don't do broad. It's way too hard to manage. You show up for hundreds of queries. So say you put in pants on broad, all of a sudden you're showing up for anything with the PANT in it. So the optimization on that is pretty much impossible, and you have to do a lot of negative keywords. So never do broad. Exact and broad match modifier. For anyone who wants to launch text ads, exact match, broad match modifier. Don't do phrase, you don't need it, and don't do broad. You will spend all your money on keywords that you do not want to show up for. All right. So this one, it's getting a little bit more complicated. So we have a multi-brand. So you have, like, say, Philip Lim and Rebecca Minkoff, and you have both of those brands, and you have multi-categories. So I would probably start with my brand as the campaign. So Rebecca Minkoff and Philip Lim are probably going to perform differently. So I want to break them out. The campaign, you can control budgets there. You can control if you want to show your ads all the time, like spend all of my budget right away. I don't care if we run out at the end of the day, but usually people who do that, you have unlimited budget. And just a caveat, if you are a brand and your campaign is not maxing out on the daily budget, check your settings. And if it's not at accelerated, change it to accelerated and see if that helps you. It might be at standard because standard means Google is only showing your ads when they think it's an optimal time to show your ad and that your conversion will happen. So if you want to decrease spend, put it on that standard delivery setting. If you want to increase it, put it on accelerated. So then we're getting a little bit complicated in our ad groups. So I've decided, since, say, Rebecca Minkoff has different price points, I want to create an ad group that says I'm bidding on accessories that are under $100. And then I have another ad group that I'm bidding on that's clothing under $100. And then within my ad group, the exact product group that I'm bidding on, so this is telling Google, hey, this is what I'm bidding on, is stuff under $100, but it's accessories. So only under $100 accessories is what I'm bidding on. And same with on the other side, it's only clothing that's under $100 that I'm bidding on. Any questions? All right. So another one is SKU breakouts. So say you're a company and you have 1,000 SKUs, but 10 make up 80% of your revenue. You might want to create SKU breakouts where you bid on SKUs separately. We have some clients that have done this, and a client that I have that has done this has actually been able to increase their orders on those top SKUs by breaking them out and bidding on them differently. So they saw a 22% increase in orders, a 54% increase in revenue, and a 22% increase in ROAS. If you know you have a couple products that do really, really, really well, you should bid very, very aggressively on them so that you can work to get to that top spot in the shopping ads. And this is just an example of how you would break that out. So Rebecca Minkoff top. So that's telling me that my top SKUs are sitting in this campaign. And say it's for my top clothing and pants SKUs. And then within it, I'm bidding on clothing, pants, and those SKUs that do really, really well for me. So that is a way to do a SKU breakout in Google Shopping. All right, so those are kind of like the basics on how to create shopping campaigns. And now we're gonna go a little bit deeper. The first thing we're gonna talk about is query segmentation. So people have been asking a lot of questions about exact match keywords, broad match, phrase match, things like that. Google Shopping does not bid on keywords. We bid on products. So we bid on our set of products, and that is it. We do not bid on keywords. But that's really annoying because would you rather spend $5 on crossbody bags or somebody who's like, I really want to buy a crossbody bag right now and I have cash to spend it? I mean, obviously you're going to spend $5 on that person who wants it right now than someone who might be like in the market, but I don't really know. So in the past year, I would say, we've kind of learned how to trick the system through what we call is a waterfall. So it is using negative keywords to control where keywords fall in Google Shopping campaigns. Just to give you a little background, in Google Shopping, you can have high priority campaigns, medium priority campaigns, or low priority campaigns. What does this mean? So say I have the one SKU in a non-brand high priority campaign, in that same SKU in this medium priority campaign, Google has to bid on the high priority campaign first. Even if maybe you have like a $12 bid in the medium priority campaign and only a 5-cent bid in the high priority, Google has to show that SKU there first before it goes anywhere else. So to better show this, I'm going to kind of break it down. So on our non-brand campaign, we would be bidding on maybe loafers, sneakers, things like that at high priority. We would negate your brand name from it. So all of a sudden, anytime someone types in Rebecca Minkoff shoes, they can't come in here because we created a negative keyword, and a negative keyword says, I don't want to bid on that keyword in this campaign. So then all of a sudden, this becomes a non-brand campaign because I didn't say I don't want to bid on shoes or clothing or anything like that. All I said is I don't want to bid on Rebecca Minkoff. So it's forced to go into this catch-all. But we have this catch-all in place to kind of talk back to what you were saying. If we don't have something bid out, it's like a fall safe so that it stays so when we get down to the branded campaign, it stays branded. So we keep doing this brand name negation. So this becomes like a non-brand all products catch-all. So we're still bidding on loafers, women's sneakers, and then in here the same thing, women's loafers, women's sneakers, things like that. And then at low priority, we have our brand campaign. So this is gonna bid on, with all this fall safe thing, the only thing that's falling into that branded campaign is Rebecca Minkoff plus a product. So with this, you are able to bid differently on each of these product groups. So non-brand typically doesn't do as well as brand. Now you have the ability to put a $10 bid on all of your Rebecca Minkoff products and a 5-cent bid on your non-brand products. So you're being a little bit more efficient with your money because you're not just putting a $10 bid across everything. You can kind of trick Google and say, you know what, non-brand doesn't do as well for me. I'm going to cut budgets here, all of that, and you still have your branded that you can increase your budgets, increase your bids on. So this is something that everyone's kind of moving towards on the shopping side and can really help you optimize because brand and non-brand do perform much differently. Any questions on this? I know this is a little crazy. Yeah.
Are low priority queries cheaper?
So it's not low. So in this case, actually, so low priority, high priority have nothing to do with what is in them. It has to do with how Google looks at them first. So Google, I type in Rebecca Minkoff clothing. Google will hit this guy first. And I negated Rebecca Minkoff from the negative keywords, so Google's like, okay, I can't bid there anymore. So Google goes to the medium one. I negated Rebecca Minkoff again, so Google's forced to serve in here. So you can put like a 5-cent bid in here and a 10-cent or $10 bid in here, and as long as it's brand, it's gonna skip these levels and you'll always still have a high bid on your brand and your budgets, things like that. And then here you can put like a 5-cent bid and know that only loafers, sneakers, boots without the brand name in it will get bid on at those low bids because non-brand usually is not as good of a performer as brand. Any other questions? Yeah.
So my point is, it's hitting the high priority first. What if I wanted the Rebecca on the high priority?
You can, but then you won't be as efficient with your spending. Because it's not, I think the priority thing isn't like there's nothing to do with how important the keyword is or the SKU is. It has to do with how Google looks at things. So it's just like when a query comes in and Google in the background does its algorithm, it just knows, like, it just has to go through these 3 steps, but eventually it will hit there and you'll get the same traffic, and it'll be better traffic and you can optimize.
All right, so it doesn't matter where you are, you're getting the same traffic.
Mm-hmm.
That's my concern.
Yeah, you'll get the same traffic, and you'll be more efficient because then you can make lower bids and change your budgets for brand and non-brand differently. And it's something that you've never been able to do on shopping before. It used to be like free for all and hope for the best. Yeah, but it still does it gives you the same stats. It's just looking at them a little bit differently. Now you have a brand campaign and you can really push that. I know a lot of brand, advertisers, we push our brand because we know that brand is going to convert. And then we put, so like if you only have $100 to spend a day, push your brand and put like $5 on non-brand, because at the end of the day, brand is going to do a lot better. But then at the same time, if you're a new company and you're trying to get your name out there, you might need to take a little bit of a hit and push on this non-brand to help with prospecting, getting people out there who are just looking for sneakers or boots or things like that.
What is the average ROI
On a brand?
Yes.
It all depends. So I've seen 2 to 1, I've seen 10 to 1. It really has to do with your average order value. So if you have a products that are $100 and say you have wholesalers bidding on you, so like the Nordstroms and Saks of the world, you're probably going to see around a 2 to 1, maybe a 1.5 to 1 return. It's not going to be that strong because of how aggressive wholesalers are. But if you have a $500 product, you'll probably see closer to like a 6 to 1 return on brand on the shopping side of things. This is just shopping. On search, you can see a lot higher than that, 4 to 1, upwards of like 23 to 1 I've seen. But on shopping, it definitely is a little bit lower because it's a lot more competitive and there's a lot more people shoving their ads in Google Shopping than on text ads.
You never goes up to 10, right?
Yeah, on shopping,
Yes.
it can go up to 10, but your products have to be like $1,000 or something, like they have to be really high.
How much would it perform if you have a competitive brand name as a negative keyword?
Yeah, you could do competitors. So you can do a competitor brand name as a negative, but I don't know. What if you do really well? What if you're showing up and all of a sudden someone's like, oh, I've never heard of, like, say, Rebecca Minkoff.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, I've tried it. And on the text ad side, too, bidding on competitor names as well. You get into that weird fuzzy space where if you're doing it, they're going to do it back. But I think depending on the brand, it can do very well. It's more of a prospecting play. So it's like, okay, I have the same if I was Rebecca Minkoff, for example, and I have the same products as Kate Spade. If someone knows Kate Spade but they don't know me, I should try it. It doesn't mean it's going to work, but I'm always about testing, giving a little bit of budget towards testing, and then going from there. All right. So these are some other things that you can be doing on Google Shopping. Merchant promotion. So it's this guy right here. So you can put a promotion. It can be site-wide, it can be on select products, it can be a percentage off, a dollar amount off. You can have a promo code, you don't need a promo code, and it just shows underneath your ads. So it gives you a little bit more of a boost in your click-through rate because someone knows you have a sale versus Shop, Handle, whatever they are. They don't have a sale, so I'd rather buy on Jonathan Adler, who does have a sale. It also can increase your conversions because people know you have a sale. Conversion rates usually go up during sale time. And then it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to add this in. So it's definitely a nice little extension to help get you more competitive, especially since there is so much clutter on the Google Shopping side of things. So it can definitely help there as well. The next thing is audiences. So remarketing lists are people who have been to your site and get cookied, and then they're searching around the internet, and they know who you are. They've been to your site in some way, shape, or form. They know who you are. So in a way, they are potentially more loyal to you or have more familiarity with you. So I recommend creating some remarketing lists and layering them in under your campaigns. So things to think about are people who just visited your site, people who have been to specific category pages, people who have abandoned cart, so maybe they put something in the cart and then they left it, and then even past purchasers, so people who have bought in the past but they're still searching for things. So perfect example, say I went on Barney's and I put a white blouse in my shopping cart and then I left, but I'm still searching for white blouses on Google. I can increase my bid on me because I'm still searching for white blouses. Barney's has a white blouse. I know you've been to my site before. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive because I know that you might convert much better than someone who's never been to my site before. So it's a way to kind of get a little bit of a lift in your return on ad spend, spend a little bit less more money, and improve your conversion rates. So we typically see about a 30% higher ROI on our remarketing list versus non-remarketing list, so people who've never been to the site before. Another cool feature Google's included is CRM lists, so your email lists. You can break those down now and advertise to those people differently. I'm pretty sure Facebook does something a little bit like this with email lists, and I hear it does really well. So it's something that Google is now giving you the ability to do. So if you want to try to get more efficient, definitely utilize your remarketing lists and bid differently on people who have been to your site, are familiar with your products, and are still looking for things that you serve. Maybe they just need to be reminded, like, oh yeah, they give me a white blouse there, and I had a really great purchase the last time, and shipping was great, so I'm going to go buy again. So definitely think about your audiences, and you can segment way more than this. I just kind of gave you a brief thing. You can do people who abandoned cart yesterday, people who haven't been to the site in, I think up to 540 days is the most. So you can do someone who was like a visitor 540 days ago but hasn't been back. So there's a lot of things you can do to play with. And then if you have Google Analytics, you can go even deeper. You can be like, this person viewed this, or this person bought 5 things instead of just one thing. So there's a lot of lists. The lists you can create are abundant. You just kind of got to think about what's best for your business. And then you have to also think one thing, the more granular you get, the smaller the audiences are. So you have to have at least 1,000 in your audience list to actually start like generating some traffic. So just think about that as well. If you're a small business, you might just want to start with all visitors and past purchasers and grow those lists. And then as you get bigger, you can start breaking things out a little bit more granularly. And then something really cool that just launched is similar audiences. So these are people that Google think are similar to the people that have been to your site but have not been to your site yet. So this can help because then it shows that they're a little bit more like the people that you already have interaction with than just like a random person searching for a white blouse. So Google through these stats, so you see about 60% more impressions on these guys than your actual remarketing list, 48% more clicks, and 41% more orders. We're seeing really good results on our site on this because it's like they're new, but they're like the people that have already been to our site. So definitely utilize the similar audience list, and it refreshes every 24 hours. So someone who might be relevant today won't be relevant tomorrow. So they kind of at least refresh it so it's not just like, oh, well, they were relevant last year, so they're considered a similar audience. And this is something Facebook does, and it's called lookalike, and it does really well. Any questions on audiences?
Yeah. Not on the audience. I have a quick slide, right? On the Google Shopping, you say that the coupons, right? There are 2 things on that. One is a trust symbol here.
Oh yeah, Google Trust.
And then other one is a review. How do we get there? What's the trick on to get there?
Okay, so he brought up the Google Trusted Store. That's that little check box right there. And there's also reviews. There's none on here. You'll see like stars underneath. So Google Trusted Store you can sign up for through Google. Basically what happens is Google has to check it can get a little complicated because Google will put that trusted store there and it shows up on the bottom right hand side of your page on all of your pages. So that's something to think about if you want that on the bottom of your page or not. But they actually you have to submit the fulfillment of your inventory. So say someone makes a purchase, you have to show how long it takes to fulfill the order, things like that. And I think I forget, you have to do it for like a week period. So like there's specs online and what you need to do on the Google Trusted Store, but it can get a little bit complicated sometimes. So you don't see that a lot anymore, the Google Trusted Store.
I have a Google Trust on my website.
Yeah.
I'm not able to see that in the Google Ads.
Oh, okay. So if you don't see that on the Google Ad extension, that's actually pretty interesting because it should show. Do you have a Google rep at all? A Google rep, like someone you talk to at Google? No? Okay. Because it should show, so I would reach out to them because some of these things, like they won't show all of them, but that Google Trusted Store link should show if you are advertising. So there might be some link issue going on somewhere that you just need to troubleshoot, but the other one is the stars underneath, and that Google picks and choose when those show. If they think that will help improve performance.
It's not that what pages I actually.
Yeah, it doesn't show up every time.
Okay, one more thing on the
Yep.
CRM, right?
CRM lists, yep.
So are these only an email, or I can give a first name, last name, and then a zip code, like how we give it to the...
You just upload the email addresses. But you can segment, so it's just a list that you upload into Google AdWords, but you can segment your list. So if you have a large list, you can do some of these segmentations and create different audiences, but you just upload their email.
But what if I don't have an email list? Can I put first name, like...
No, they won't generate the emails for you. You have to have them, yeah. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about mobile because mobile will always be a conversation. So at Elite last year, we saw that 61% of our clicks came from mobile, whereas only 29% of our click growth came from desktop. It's huge. Mobile will always be a conversation. If you're not seeing strong performance, if you don't have a great mobile site, things like that, don't push mobile just to push mobile. Make sure that you can have a good mobile experience, because if someone has a not great mobile experience on your page, they're not going to go back, and they most likely probably will not go on desktop. So that's definitely something to think about. So beyond mobile bid adjustments that you can do, this is something Google is rolling out for shopping. It's called Showcase Ads. So they want to create a better experience for users on mobile. So say I type in crossbody bags, you'll see Rebecca Minkoff shows up, Kate Spade shows up, and if you click into Rebecca Minkoff, it brings you to like a shopping center within Google. You haven't left Google yet, and you can actually like scroll up and see more products that are related to crossbody bags. This is customizable. You can add like a little blurb that's even longer than this here. So it's like your own little merchant center within Google Shopping on mobile. This is something that's been in beta, so this is when Google's testing it with top clients, but they're actually moving out of beta, and this will be available actually now. If you type in Christian Louboutin, I'm pretty sure you'll see this. You'll see like different retailers that show it, so if you wanted to check it out, I'm pretty sure I saw it on Christian Louboutin. But yeah, they're rolling it out this quarter, so they're trying to improve the experience on mobile, and this is one of the ways they're going to do it. So if you're advertising on mobile, this will happen to you one day. And then if you have an app re-engagement. So say I'm searching for 9 West boots, and I have the 9 West app. If I click on my 9 West ad, it will deep link me to the app. So I will end up shopping on the app instead of shopping on the site. And then if I don't have the app, it'll direct me to the site. So if you're trying to re-engage app users, maybe they've fallen off, it's definitely a place that you can try it out. So you would just deep link your mobile app, and anytime that somebody has a mobile app with you and they click on a shopping ad, they'll be taken to the app instead of to the online site. And then one other thing is just local. 50% of people visit a store within the day that they search, and 18 of those searches lead to a purchase in store. So definitely start thinking about local. For us, I think the biggest thing is if you have a brick and mortar store, things you should think about is creating campaigns that focus on your store locations. Whether it's specific campaigns, so I have a campaign targeting only my New York location, I'm gonna bid everything in there in New York, or just layering in New York underneath all of my campaigns already. So it really just depends on what you wanna look at, but definitely if you have brick and mortar stores, you should be thinking about location. And then another interesting fact is 1 in 4 people don't go to store because they are afraid that whatever they're looking for will not be in store. So if you're trying to drive more people to store, you might want to do local inventory ads. So what that is if I'm searching for this perfume, it says right up here in store. That tells me that it's in store, and when I click in, it'll tell me exactly where it is in store and what the hours are, and it can actually, if it's in multiple stores, I can change locations, get directions. So this can bring people to your stores if you want to increase your search to store and get more people that foot traffic. Any questions on local?
How does a product image affect?
How's the what?
A product image.
Product image?
Yeah.
Yeah, so product image is one of the things that you need to think about. On Google Shopping, they have to be 250 by 250. Ideally, you should have a white background and then just the product. Usually, there's no like, Google won't give you best practices, but it's the best way to show, the bag should just be the bag. You know, there shouldn't be a girl holding the bag because then that gets confusing. And then pants, there's always that conversation, is better to have the model in the picture or just a pant image. So that's something you can actually test. You can A/B test your products within Google Merchant Center. So that might be something you want to try out. But usually, as long as it's just 250 by 250 and it shows what the product is, Google will let it through. But if you want to test some different things, you can definitely do that and see, okay, is my click-through rate higher if I show a girl wearing pants versus just pants? All right, so I think the biggest things for you guys is just figuring out your optimal account structure for shopping, whether it's doing SKU breakouts, whether it's doing brand versus non-brand, just whatever you think is for your business and what can help grow your business the most. And you definitely have to go beyond the basics. You can't just create a campaign and let it run. Google Shopping needs to be optimized just like anything else. So thinking about mobile and audiences and geolocations and query segmentation is something you should really think about because it'll help you be efficient. If you just kind of set it and forget it, I don't even know what will happen. Probably not a lot of efficient things, and all of a sudden you won't have any media spend and you'll have to pause. And then just trying to break through the clutter. I mean, Google Shopping, since it has high conversion rates, it's getting way more competitive. So anything you can do to add a promo, do the seller ratings that we kind of talked about with the stars. Also, I've started playing with in my titles, if I, like Rebecca Minkoff, they show in other places, if that product is exclusive to Rebecca Minkoff, I write exclusive. Or if my product's a bestseller, I put bestseller in my title. Because sometimes people are looking for best-selling bags. And if I have best-selling in my title, I'm gonna show up. So thinking about those value adds, and you can add them into your titles and you won't get disapproved on Google for them. So just any kind of little lift to get someone to click on your site. And then that's all I have. So do you guys have any questions? Yeah?
Hi, I'm curious, what kind of budget are we talking about? What's what kind of budget to start to have an impact?
Yeah. Okay, so what budget to start to have impact? I think it depends on can you share what your industry is?
I work for a company that creates e-commerce sites. So it can be anywhere, let's say a retailer has $1 million to $10 million in revenue a year. What kind of that scale?
So I think, I guess I'll think about it like this. So I just helped launch a smaller account this last month. And they have some brand familiarity. They've never been on Google Shopping before. They're spending probably like $1,000 a month, but it's mostly on brand. So if you want to really get prospecting, you'll probably have to spend a little bit more. I'd say $1,000 a month to get your feet wet and go from there. But you can spend upwards of $10 million, $20 million in a month on Google Shopping. But that has a lot to do with probably some of your clients, since they're more e-commerce, so they're probably like Jets, where like they're selling a lot of things. They can get really high up in media spend, but if you're just one brand starting off, I'd say probably around $1,000 just to see what you get out of it, and then go from there based on how much traffic, because it all depends on the industry and the CPCs. Like I know software, some of those cost per click, so how much it costs to bring someone to the site, it's like over $100. So like 10 clicks and you're done for the month. But on retail, I typically see CPCs like between, depending, like 60 cents and like $4 to $5. So that can move you a little bit more. But yeah, if you're like in software and stuff, some of those, it costs a lot, but it's because if you get a conversion, it's like tens of thousands of dollars.
Is there any third-party application that helps you get the most common search keywords relevant to your product?
So Google AdWords has a tool called keyword search tool, keyword planner, keyword search tool. It's in AdWords, and you can type in like ideas of what you want, and it'll actually spit out like how many searches a month are on those and things like that. But also there is something called a Ngram script. So once you start running your campaigns, you can put this script on, and Google will actually crawl the searches that you're showing up for and find like. So say you show up for women's pants black, women's pants purple, women's pants. This Ngram will find that women's pants is clearly a place you need to bid on and tell you that, and maybe you can build something off of that. So it'll find kind of like keywords, but to get started, definitely the keyword planner tool. I've sometimes used SEO, guys use Uber Suggest. I use that sometimes. I type in like wallets and it'll give me all of these keywords. That's like an SEO tool, but you can use it to create your keywords on text ads as well. Yep.
Can you position Amazon pages to Google Shopping?
So Amazon just entered Google Shopping in December for the first time ever. Amazon was never going, well, no one thought they would ever enter, because putting a feed into Google means Google has all of your data, and Amazon never really wanted to share that, but they've actually started to get their feet wet. But if you want to put your feed into Amazon, you can definitely do that. The Amazon feed is a lot more complicated than the Google Shopping one.
Well, if you have an Amazon, you have the product on Amazon,
Yeah.
trying to get into the Google Shopping market, so.
Okay. So you probably will have to do your Google Shopping market, but like your brand needs to just do it on its own, because Amazon isn't advertising everything. I know they're getting their feet wet in like home stuff. So if you're not selling home and you're doing more apparel, I don't know if they're going to go there. They're not doing everything. They're siloing what industries are kind of putting Google Shopping ads on. So if you say you're on Amazon and you're not on Google Shopping, get on Google Shopping. The feed to upload is way easier. So if you're familiar with the Amazon one, it'll take you like 2 seconds. But yeah, don't rely on Amazon to show your products on Google. Yeah.
When you do text-based campaign, right?
Yeah.
Will this improve your organic ranking at all?
If you do a text campaign with it,
Yeah.
with shopping,
Not shopping, in general, right?
yeah.
So will it increase the placement of my website organically?
Oh, like for SEO placement? No, just because you're heavy in shopping and text ads, that won't have any effect on your ranking in SEO. But having text ads and shopping ads together, you're owning more of that SERP. So the more you're showing up, the more potential that you're going to get clicked on instead of your competitors.
One more question is,
Yeah.
so see, I come from Amazon e-commerce seller actually.
Okay.
So in Amazon, you need to put a keyword in your description and then back in search and all to show up at the top of the search actually, the SEO and
Yeah.
ads.
Yeah.
Is there any criteria that where we can put it up in the Google?
No.
We just blindly go.
Yeah, you just do, if you go on Google and you search Google feed specifications, gives you all the things you need, upload it. But you don't need like special things in each of them.
No, the keyword, let's say that you put the bags, right?
Yeah.
The bags has to be
Bags.
mentioned in your description of.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you should, if you want to show up for bags, bags needs to be in your title or in your description. Yeah. Yep.
Can you talk a bit about quality scores and how you use them?
Yes. Okay. Quality score. This is a big thing on the text search ad side of things. So quality score is basically the way that you can get up in your average position. So if you want to move from position 4 to position 1, you improve your quality score. It has a lot to do with your ads. So how are your ads? Are they relevant to your landing page experience? Are they relevant to your keywords? So if I am bidding on women's handbags, my ad should not say men's handbags. So that is one. So it's your ad relevance. It also is your landing page experience. So if I'm searching for women's handbags and I get a women's handbags ad and I click in, I need to be going to a women's handbags page. You're taking me to a men's handbags page, it's the quality score is going to go down. So ad relevancy is huge, and that also is click-through rate. So Google looks at your click-through rate and how many people are clicking through versus the impressions you're showing for. If you have a lower click-through rate, that can also impact your quality score. Click-through rate can be affected by ad relevance, but also all of those ad extensions you can add in, call-out extensions, site links, structured snippets. There's a couple others, there's a couple, I can't really remember all of them, but if you have all those other ones, that helps improve your click-through rate. So as long as you gotta stack all of those ad extensions you have, make sure you do them all. Google won't show them all, they'll show what they think is relevant, but having all of them is really great. And then another thing is, I found that if you change your ads too many times, it will impact your quality score. So always keep like a control ad, potentially, unless you're on sale. Always have one control ad and then test other ones into it. Don't like strip all, like this week I have these ads and then next week these other ads. Try to like have a little bit more control on that. But sale, I think that goes out the window. I think you should just put sale ads there. And then you gotta bid up sometimes. If you do all of those things, sometimes Google's just like, you know what, you gotta increase your bids. But I think those are some ways to improve your quality score on text. Yeah. Yeah, you can go. Yeah. So finding like similar customers to the ones you have, utilizing those similar audiences that I talked about. So if you turn that on in Google Shopping or on your text ads, it will find users that are like the people who have been to your site already. So it won't be like anyone searching for high-end things. There'll be people who are searching for high-end things that are like people who have already been to your site. So it's called similar audiences. Definitely layer those onto your campaigns.
So how about is there anything related to social media or?
So social media, I guess my only way that social media kind of can link to this is, I think in Facebook you can upload your email lists. Am I right about that? That's not really my thing. So those lists that you're creating for social media for Facebook, you can upload those same lists into Google and use them on Google Text Ads and Google Shopping and Google like Gmail, like the GSPs. You can do it there as well. So you can use those email lists that you've been using for Facebook and use them in Google now. And now that they're doing this similar audiences for email, you're basically creating the same lookalikes that you do on Facebook. You can create them on Google. So I think that's a way, but I think that's probably it for the cross division, stuff like that.
Okay. You mentioned about showing the Amazon products in the Google Shopping, right? But when you're setting it up, the feeds, right? You will have to do that. That's your store, right?
Yeah.
That's where you.
Yeah, you need to have a website. Yeah.
Yeah, but you cannot show Amazon. You cannot redirect them to the Amazon actually.
No.
You can redirect to your website. Actually.
Yeah, you have to bring everything to your website, your own website.
I thought
Yeah.
you were telling me about redirecting to Amazon.
Oh yeah, no, it's because Amazon's now showing up on Google Shopping, so maybe their products might show up on Google Shopping if they're on Amazon. Any last questions? I know I'm out of time.
Thank you very much. I mean, I feel like the
You can come talk to me too.
Yeah, I feel like we can go all night, but the questions are getting more and more specific. So definitely, stick around and ask individual questions. I think it's very interesting. Like some of it is a little tangential, but if you have very specific, unique questions, Courtney's going to be here.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Jessica, if you can answer any questions.
We can answer a few.
Give it a shot. And also mingle